beautiful. That's a great color on you. All right.
Yeah. It's about, you can see I have lots of papers and other things. And my challenge is that I don't listen. I'm a hoarder of information, and
Okay.
I don't want to let things go. And I'm not quite sure what it is that is holding on to stuff I no longer need. And
Okay.
since I'm also, this is a time of my life where I need to be able to manifest my wise woman self, because I'll be 79 in June.
Oh, you look great, girl.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. So that's where that seems to be the most important thing in terms of organizing my time and making sure I am following through on my actions.
Okay. So there's a couple of things. Number one, there's organizing your time.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And then there's also organization of your life. They're two separate things.
Okay. Yeah. Let me make sure I got some notes here.
Well, I'll tell you what, don't worry about notes.
Okay.
Come over here because it's going to be recorded and you can go back and watch it again. How's
Oh,
that?
good.
Okay.
Good.
Let's just be present together because we're going to work with your body.
Okay.
So there's a couple of things. So I'm going to have you move into the center of your camera of the screen because you're beautiful. Thank you. All right. Now, procrastination is always one of four things. Okay. So one is the thing that you're procrastinating on does not need to be done at all. Our mind makes up things that it thinks needs to be done all the time, and they end up falling off our list. They never need to be done. It just doesn't need to be done. And so you can check with your IGS depending on for each different thing to find out if it's whatever opens you is what's true. So if you think this thing doesn't even need to be done, I'm just making more work for myself. Okay, you're going to do this with individual things. If it opens you, that's true. If you feel a tightness, that means that that's not true and it does need to be done. Do you understand? It's kind of counterintuitive. Okay. That's number one. Number two, the second thing, don't worry about it right now. I'm just going to explain it to you and then we'll pick a couple things. The number two thing is it needs to be done by someone else. You need help with it. There's somebody else and you're taking it on to do it. Us women do it all the time with the people in our lives. We don't want to bother them or we don't want to put them out by asking, or if we ask them, we know it's going to take them so long and we're going to get pissed off watching it not get done for so long that it's just better to get it done ourselves. But that's not always how it's supposed to be. That really sometimes the other person needs to do it. Okay. I had my classic example is the wife that wants to clean out the garage. She's been it's on her list for 3 years and she opens it, it's somebody else's to do. And she suddenly realizes it's the son and the husband who need to do it because it's all their stuff. Right. The third thing is the timing isn't right. There is a divine timing that happens in the world around us where everything lines up and the flow happens. This happens for stuff like that closet that you haven't gotten cleaned or a project that's half finished and you haven't finished the rest of it. There's a missing piece in there somewhere, something that you don't know that you don't know. It could be taxes. You keep putting them off and putting them off. And then all of a sudden one morning you wake up and you feel like getting it done and it's a breeze. All the documents are there. Everything's easy. You've got the time. No one's interrupting you. You're actually kind of excited to see how you spent your finances in the past year, right? So there's a divine timing where people, places, things, documents are coming together. And the last one is when we're making something more complicated than it needs to be. You have this project and your mind has 60 steps and you really only need 2 to get it going. And it's the complexity stops you from moving forward because the way you're thinking of doing it is not going to work. It's going to actually gum up the works and be too hard. Okay. So the thing is you can go through using your IGS and you go through each of these 4 elements and you can sense, is this the right time for this? And if you open, it is. If you close, it's not. And the thing about timing is when the time comes, you'll feel open and ready to do it. If you open that you're making it too complex, then the answer is what's the first tiny little step I can make? Or the 1 or 2 steps I can make on this. Well, I can gather all the materials I need and put them into a basket so they're ready to go when I'm ready. Or I can call this person and find out the information that I'll need to know and how much it's going to cost and get that started. I can talk to my family. Let's say you're procrastinating on a family reunion. I can enroll 2 or 3 people to help me figure out how to get it done. I can have a conversation about where would we like to have it? Who would we invite? how would we like to do this? Simple conversation instead of like, well, I've got to find the place and get the money together and invite everybody and do a really nice invitation and figure out the family t-shirts. And the complexity is too much. All you need to do is just call a family member and say, will you partner with me on this? And all of a sudden the ball and the juices will be flowing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. Actually, it's interesting that you say that because I just got off of the phone with my sister and I have to buy the tickets to fly to St. Louis because we're having this reunion in May. And she says, I already thought you got, I said, okay, let's get this straight. And she couldn't find the information. And then I told her, just reach, find, and she found it. There's
Good.
techniques.
Yes.
And so it's interesting that you say that because
Yeah.
it's about planning the activities that I have coming up.
Yeah. And so maybe, that's it. So part of it's the planning of the activities. And so maybe it's a matter of keeping it very simple. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised at how many times an activity like that, like a flight doesn't get booked. And then you realize everything suddenly goes on sale. You start getting emails going, it's a sale to St. Louis. And you're like, if I had booked it a month ago, I would have missed out on this sale. Yeah. So, because there is a divine timing to things. But the key here is I haven't seen it ever really truly be, okay, a lack of focus or laziness.
Ooh, okay.
There's not a problem with your brain or who you are or how you're being. It's one of those 4 things. And once you understand which one of them it is, then you can relax and know its place. Okay. Now, truly, I know that people have ADHD and they survive their lives, but it's still, I don't think that ADHD is about not getting things done. I think ADHD is about getting them done in a particular way. Okay. So that's what you should look at. When you have something and you're laying there in bed and it's another day that you haven't gotten your flight booked, right? Maybe, is it just not the right time? And if you open, you're like, okay, so there's a reason I haven't booked it. And when the time comes, I'll pull out my credit card and it'll get done quick.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah, so it's important. And it's a way to be able to analyze because procrastination is so stressful. We think that we're not doing enough. We're failing. We're loser. We're lazy. We're disappointing people. All of that's not true. It's all closing, which means none of that's true. And all that torturous thought is come between the ages of 0 and 7, where we've been banged on about how much did you get done today, little one? Like, come on, you're 4 years old. Did you clean your room? Did you brush your teeth? Did you eat your meal? You're like, wow, we're especially when we were being raised, our parents were like, if idle hands are the devil's plaything, right? So we were kept marching, a lot. So we have these habits in our mind that are torturous. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2, a lot of times when somebody can't get organized with paperwork, it's really because they don't have a system that works for them. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple ideas of a couple systems, and I want you to see which one feels best for you. All right.
Okay.
One is I'm really bad at filing documents. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a beautiful basket. It's about 18 inches by 15 inches. It's pretty, and it's got a lid on it. Okay. And as things come in through the year, I put them on the basket. Now, this is what's interesting. My friend told me this. She goes, just put them in a basket. I'm like, okay. Anything that I don't need to keep, I shred. I don't need to keep a utility bill. I can find all that information online to compare last year from this year if I want to or whatever. And I never do that anyways. But anything else, the month it comes in, if you just put you put your documents in the basket, your medical receipt, your medical bill, your utilities, the car insurance, whatever is in that basket. The interesting thing, it goes from January to December. They're already filed by date that they came in. Does that make sense to you? And they're done. Basically, unless you want to put them in individual files, but you don't need to. You could go back to June 2023. Then you take that at the end of the year, you take that box, you flip it on its side, and you stick it in a white lidded folder, and you stick it in a closet somewhere, and you put 2024 on it. And now all your stuff's filed. And all you have to do is you dig through the basket to June, and you know exactly where that document is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just giving you an example of how easy it can be. Instead of us going and having piles all over the house, right?
Yeah.
Of things that we're going to eventually put away. The other thing is you can have a box of, I like doing now, doing in the future. Those are 2 great boxes. And these could be 3 beautiful baskets with lids, okay? Doing in the future is all those projects that you want. Let's say you've got magazines and you're pulling out stuff that you want to knit someday, or a picture you want to do, or a craft project. You're keeping the whole entire magazine, when all you have to do is pull out the article, staple it together, and put it in your doing in the future box. And then next winter, when you're bored and you don't know what to do, you can go through the box and find the fun things that you want to do someday. And you can recycle the magazines. I'm just giving you ideas of ways to make it easy, to where you can, instead of having piles around your house, because us women, if we walk past a pile, our mind immediately goes to the undone and tortures us. There's that thing you're not doing. There's that pile. Everything's messy. We don't get to really relax truly until our house is tidy. And if we have a hard time figuring out how to tidy our house,
then
it's stressful.
Yes, I belong to an hour exchange. And so there are people that they volunteer their hour, and it's an hour for an hour.
Mhm.
And so I had this woman come over, and I said, just let's clean up all of the papers of all of these things that I get in the mail that was sitting on the table. And we just cleared it out.
Yep.
And that was good. And so one of the things I am looking at is, because I've got all of these files, and what I do, and this is something that is, I will put it in, okay, this is travel. That's a travel folder. This is my Wells Fargo. That's my financial folder. And so I've got these different folders, and then I have my challenge is that I always look forward to, oh, this looks interesting. I'll sign up for this. And I sign up for all of this stuff. And it's just by happenstance that I happen to take a look at my email. And so, oh, you're coming on in and out right now. And I got on. So, it is about organizing my time and organizing what it is that I really want to do now. And
Okay. So for time, do you use your calendar on your computer or your phone?
I do it on some things, on things that are important for me to remember. And then I have a calendar book, and I also have I haven't used it in ages, but I've got this big poster on my door, and I can I can see everything that it is, but I haven't taken the time to focus on that. And so just keeping myself organized with what I'm to do.
So do you have a phone?
I
A
do.
digital? Right. Which one? Do you have an iPhone or do you have a Android?
I have an iPhone, and I have a backup Android, but I don't like to use the Android, and I use the iPhone.
Okay. That's good. So here's the rule. If it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the rule. So the second that somebody if it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be free to put stuff in, like this call right now. You came through your email and you're like, I have time, I'm going to jump in.
Yeah.
But the moment that anything comes through, you open up your phone, you get in the habit, you open up your phone and you put it in.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you're in your iPhone and you open up a calendar, okay,
Yeah.
you open up a thing. If you go and you open up any one, what you're going to find is that, I'm trying to get mine to open. There we go. You'll see invitees. Okay. If you open it up, you'll have the title, you'll have the day and time, you'll have whether it repeats, right? And then you'll have it says invites. You see that?
Okay. Today I have calendars. I have March.
Okay. So hold on. You see right there?
Oh.
Okay. If you look right here, down here, it says invites right here. I'm trying to see you. Hold on. Where'd it go? Come on. So you can put in anyone's email or phone number in that little spot that you are doing something with, and it'll be on both of your calendars.
Okay. There's no invitations. So
see here, right? Look, I'm going to show you right here. It says it's under calendar. So hold on. I'm trying to see if I can get my computer to show you.
Oh, it says, so if I click on March, it has the month of March, and I click on calendars.
Yep. And if you click on if you go and you create an event, if you could create a calendar event, like you're going to the doctor's, right? Or you're going to go to your sister's. Anyways, you can look at this later.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you can look at how to use this. A good thing to do is go to YouTube and type in iCal, ICAL, how to, and you can watch a video. But what's really cool about that is in that moment, you can type in the person you're going to meet with, and they will get an email and a reminder that you're meeting. And that helps keep both of you organized.
Yeah, I get those for a particular Zoom calls I have with my coach. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So you're able to do that too. But the rule of thumb is the moment that you make an appointment, you put it in your phone. That's it.
Okay.
You actually have to just stop in the moment and go, hold on, I'm going to put it in my phone. And you put it in your phone.
Okay.
That's it. And you can always change it later. And then the other thing I do is I put in time for myself or my kids or time to organize something, because you can always move it later. But the key is about this stuff is you have to find a system, Jane, that works for you, and that's simple.
Yeah.
That's really simple. And if something's not working for you, like right now you have stuff I can see behind you, you've got some papers and different things, and you kept looking behind you when we first started the call,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So it's not working for you, right?
No, it isn't.
So instead of trying to do the same thing, like I've got to get all these papers into a folder,
Mhm.
right? Or I've got, whatever it is, how can I make this work where it's super easy? You already know that it works to leave them in a pile on top of your desk,
Yeah.
because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you do. So you know that works. So now maybe it's as simple as, like I said, you go down and get some simple boxes, like pretty wicker baskets with a lid, and then you just layer your stuff in there and you put them on the floor stacked up pretty in the corner, and you don't see the cluttered paper. You know where everything is. It's all filed by date. And if you ever need it, you just dig through it. You'll be surprised how you never need it. The problem with the papers behind you is you never need them.
Yeah.
You just feel like you have to keep them.
It's true.
If you needed them, you'd dig through them and you'd find them, but you don't. You have this idea in your head that papers need to go in a folder,
Yeah.
and they don't. Papers need to be organized by type, car, banking. They don't. They don't. And it's actually pretty amazing. I actually like the monthly, because I can go back through, like if you got a bill and that you're, a tax receipt or something, you just go to the box and look at, oh, there's June. And I know we paid we did the tires or the medical or the whatever in June. There it is. Pull it out. And then you put it right back into June. It's very simple. And you literally just take the whole box and put it into another box that you have to keep for 7 years and put it in the garage. And every 7 years you pull them out and shred them. I mean, it's really that simple, and it have to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Life is too short for you to be worrying about this anymore.
Yeah.
If you need it, you know exactly where it is, and it looks pretty. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there are things that I just had to get over. I used to keep all these magazines because I was going to go through them again someday, till I had, stacks of magazines. And then I realized I'm not going to use these. Right. And so I would recycle them, or what I actually did is I gave them to the library so they could use it for collages and stuff for their art projects and things, but I've a couple times I've put them on Facebook and said, does anybody need a whole bunch of magazines for collages or kids stuff or art projects? And somebody will come pick them all up. But there's things there's the other last piece is never doing now, meaning there are things that I am never going to do. And you'll open if you're not going to do them. It'll feel peaceful to let them go. And you just look around and you say, these are things that I'm not going to do. I am not probably going to learn German.
Yeah.
It's been on my list. I'm not doing it. So I just let certain things go now. It's like and if it ever comes back around, I have the opportunity, I'll do it. But there's you just have to let some things go. Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same with that. If you're trying to organize your house, a good way to do it is you take anything you haven't touched in the last 6 months, put it in a couple bins, put the bins in the garage. Okay. Because that way your house is not cluttered. And you just go back through them in a year, and you can decide then what you want to get rid of and what you want to keep. It's too hard to decide in the moment. We feel like we're going to need it. You know where it is and you haven't gotten rid of it. Your house is neat and tidy. It feels clean and good and simple, so you can focus on other things. And in a year, you can go back and look through them and slim it down again, get rid of a bunch of stuff you haven't touched in a year, keep the things where you're like, I'm still not sure about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple. It can be very simple and very fun. That's
Thank
the
you.
key.
Yeah, yeah. Make it simple, make it fun.
Make it simple, make it fun, and don't be too organized. You don't have to be too organized.
I don't have to quote unquote get it right.
No, not at all. It just needs to feel peaceful inside so that you can get back to having fun with your friends, doing things to take care of your body, and enjoying yourself.
Hmm.
Anything that's in the niggly part of your brain that keeps going, you got to do this, you got to do that, it destroys our joy. So notice those things and go, what am I going to do with that? So I can quickly and easily get rid of that task in a simple, fun way so that I don't have this in my head taking me away from what's really important, the
Yeah.
people in my life and enjoying nature and the fun things I want to do. Those little is just a simple awareness alarm bell that there's something that needs to be put away for now in an easy, simple, fun way. Don't
Oh,
let it torture you. Okay.
yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, because I do have a series of responsibilities. I have a poetry book that has just gotten published,
Nice. Congratulations.
and I actually got it right here.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Love
Oh, it's
to my
beautiful.
soul.
Love song. It's beautiful. I love Machu Picchu. I've been there. It's so great. I love that.
And
Congratulations.
this is a picture that I took about 7 years ago, and or actually it was 10 years ago. Wow! And I made an offering to Putakusi, which is the feminine mountain there.
Okay.
And and I did it sitting in and I was looking at it, and I offered the coca leaves, and I said, "This is for you." And then I took a picture of Putakusi, and then when I looked at the picture, it turns out that there was all of these violet flames coming from the sun and framing the entire mountain. That's
It's beautiful.
Putakusi. Yeah. So yeah, and I'm just so this is my first copy, and now I have steps that I'm going to take to get myself on Facebook. Well, I already have a website because I did a summit last year, and then I have two memoirs coming out. So I have these things that are exciting, and I really want to do. And I'm amazed. I was reading through this poetry. This poetry book is something that I had, there's piles of stuff in the back. I had actually put it together in 2000 because, and I was working with a therapist at the time. And I said, okay, well, I'm just going to take this. And I took all of the poetry that I had written. There's poems in here that go back to 1970. So they really
Wow.
the three periods of my life: my maiden years when I was getting my PhD, I was a graduate student getting my PhD, my mother years when I taught at Cal State Bakersfield as a professor of cultural anthropology for
That's
38 years,
awesome.
and then my retirement years, which is where I'm the wise woman, helping others to midlife women in particular deal with the issues they're facing.
I love it.
Ageless endurance, redefining fitness, and embracing wisdom.
I love it. See, now there's all of that is a really good reason for you to get all this stuff off your plate in a simple, easy way so that you can focus
Yes.
on the stuff that you love.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Wow. Ooh,
We have someone who's commenting on your book, says that that is amazing. Congrats on your poetry book. You're very inspiring.
yeah,
That's good. Congrats. It's not a little thing. I've written a book. It's not a little thing. It takes a lot.
yeah, it does. And I realize that I have a lot that I can contribute to others, and
Yeah,
so and it's particularly the persistence and the shit that I went through. They're all experiences that are learning experiences. There's nothing that doesn't have a reason for being.
I know. Exactly. It may take you a little bit of time to realize that, but it always works out to be that way, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it
It
does.
does.
This is
Well, it's
well.
so nice to spend time with you.
Yeah,
Thanks for hopping on. Yes, my love. It's so good. So
yeah.
good. Well, watch this again so you can write out the stuff about procrastination. Use your internal guidance system to find your opening and your flow.
Yes.
Okay. And come back if you need me. Okay. I'll be here.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. They love it. It's nice to meet you.
Nice
Really
to
good.
meet you. Good.